Well, today ended without incident. That's very funny that you say that because we were just talking about how Yayoi is curious like a cat. And I'm sure a cat like that will one day be overcome with curiosity and die. Yeah, that just implies to me there's going to be an incident in the future, and I'm not really looking forward to that. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue on here.
どこが無事だったのか説明してもらえるかしら？
I mean, yeah. We also had the kind of big incident earlier about, us just falling asleep or passing out in class. The thing that kind of spurred everything else that followed. Lucky gave me an icy stare as I stretched. It was after school and we were on our way home. Even though I was taller, I felt like I was being completely looked down upon, though I didn't feel any chills. People just made a big deal because I lost my balance when I dozed off. Then again, it would be hard to call being carried by Tetsuya to the infirmary to sleep while Club Prez watched me a normal nap. But the school already knew about my illness from the doctor I usually went to, so things didn't escalate any more than that. Everything was normal even though I had a feeling it wasn't. I share the same feeling.
調子が良くないなら先生のところに行ってきなさい。
I kind of want to turn the sound up just a little bit. I don't know, how do I do that? Other settings. I just want to turn I'm gonna turn that 1. Hopefully that doesn't make it too loud. There's a weird balance between like that setting and the next setting up. Like it's way louder. She meant the doctor at the hospital I usually went to for my condition. Even if I did, they would just prescribe me sleeping pills.
行けばもらえるならどうして弥生先輩に分けてもらったりするのかしら？
Because she gets me the good shit. Just kidding, I have no idea. I don't want the school to have records of me going to the hospital. Interesting. Circumstances being what they were, the hospital apparently had an obligation to report such things. It was one of the conditions when you signed up to attend my school. Though it wasn't information that would be made public, I still don't like the notion of there being records of me going to the hospital at the school. Wow, he's very careful. He doesn't like people having his information.
それじゃあ今日も泊まりに行くから。
Oh no. Please, not again. Some guy walking nearby overheard Saki's words and looked surprised. She had most certainly caused a misunderstanding, but she didn't care. Hey, what are you gonna do if you stay anyways?
一緒に寝ればいいじゃない。今度も兄さんが変な夢を見たら一緒にいてあげられそうだもの。
I don't want that. The passerby looked relieved as he heard. I was her brother. Anyways, enough about him. I like how this random dude's just listening into our conversation. What a nosy person. That would literally be me. If I heard that, I'd be like, whoa, what's going on over there? I had to make sure that no one was watching, made sure we couldn't be heard before I said, you intend on sleeping in the same bed again. I might be able to hold back when I'm awake, but there's no guarantee I won't have a weird dream after I fall asleep.
別に兄さんが勝手に見る分にはどうぞ。もしも夢で会う私が私の場合は遠慮してほしいけど。
I don't know, it's hard to tell who's who in dreams, if they're real people or not. We don't even know. Alice could be just a figment of my imagination for all I know. I mean, I don't think that's the case, but as far as his knowledge goes, she might be. I had the same dream once already. There was the possibility that I would have an erotic dream and Saki might be involved in it. Kinda sus. That's your sister, my guy. Sister. Yes. I think it could very easily happen, because you want it to happen.
それとも兄さん、夢の中なら嫌がる相手に無理やりできるほど強気なのかしら？
Hell no. This guy is a total beta male when it comes to his dreams. He just as shy and I don't want to say that he's useless, but sometimes he is. He could probably be doing more. Apparently she didn't remember the most important part of the dream we'd had. I remembered pushing Saki down the bed and felt terribly awkward.
それに気になるのよ。
That did happen.
夢が混ざるのはどうでもいいとして、どうしてマイヤちゃんがまた兄さんのところに来たのか。
Real quick though, he remembers pushing Saki down. Wasn't that the other version of him, the plant one? I don't think that was him, was it? I guess it was.
それは私も人事じゃないでしょ？
That's true, but for Saki and only Saki, this couldn't be called someone else's problem.
夢の混戦。もしかしたらそばにいた方が起きやすいかもしれないし。
I didn't find that really affected our ability to wake up, but sure, if it helped you. I wonder if distance has anything to do with it.
わからないけど。 兄さんのそばにアリスなんて人は見つからなかったし。
What, did you look up every address around us and look for Alice's? Saki said matter-of-factly, didn't find anyone. Wait, what do you mean didn't find
言った
anyone?
ままの意味よ。近くに住んでるかと思ったけど、そんなことなかったし。
That's because she's living in here. We got it all figured out, boys. You checked.
ええ、アリス、アリス。それに似た名前の人も、同じくらいの年の女も、あの建物には住んでないわ。
I think it's very ironic that I am playing this game right after having finished Alice in Borderland, that show on Netflix. Or it might be on other things depending on your country. Here in America, it was on Netflix, okay? And yeah, the main character's name is Arisu, and there's like a lot of like Alice in Wonderland references. That's probably where the extent of my knowledge of Alice in Wonderland goes. I mean, I've known a few things here and there, but I definitely found out more as I watched the show. Like I said, I haven't read or watched any movies about it or anything, so I'm very limited in my knowledge, but I'm learning. I mean, just the little nuances. I know, like, some of the main characters, like the Cheshire Cat, the Queen of Hearts, all that. Even a girl around your age lives in that building. The apartment building did belong to Saki's family, so it was probably easy for being the landlord to check who was living there. That's true, but I mean, she probably could check that. When did you check that?
昼休み終わってすぐよ。不動産の部署に確認取っただけで、個人情報を調べたわけじゃないわ。
Didn't look at any private information, but still possibly abusing your power there. That's okay, though. Was that really enough for her? I had a feeling that she would have tossed privacy laws into the wind if there had been an Alice. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not good to do that. Aw, thank you, Toru.
分かった上でやってるのよ。
Toru, always the voice of reason. I was gonna scold her a little bit more. That's what you consider scolding? It's not good to do that, Saki. Don't do that again, you silly. That's pretty much what he sounds like. Anyways, when I looked at her, she didn't look at all like she felt
いい
guilty.
じゃない。過保護な妹が兄さんが話してる女が誰なのか気になって探してみたってだけのことだもの。可愛い嫉妬じゃない。
I don't know. I don't really find jealousy too cute. I mean, I'm a jealous person when it comes to like my wife, right? Like I don't want other people looking at my wife, you know, like she's mine, of course, right? I don't know. I don't find it cute. I just find it protective, right? Like I think most people are protective of people close to them that they care about. They want the best for them. Mad about the means, not the motive. I was sure that she was sure of that too. But just because you're aware of what you're doing doesn't mean you can get away with it. So don't do things like that for personal reasons anymore. Oh. I mean, yeah, I guess it is a personal reason, but there's clearly something bigger going on here. It would be nice to know if Alice is a real person or not, and if she's close by. I think Saki was justified in doing that. And I don't think Toru really cares, because if his idea of scolding her is just saying, that's not good to do that, then I don't think he really cares enough either. I just feel like that's letting her off very lightly. It's like just hitting someone's hand. Saki didn't answer. She would probably do something similar again if she found it necessary. And go home today.
なんで今、私が兄さんを怒らせたからそう言ってるの？
If that's his version of getting angry, that's not really bad. I wouldn't really take him seriously. No, this and that are different matters. Do you plan on intruding on a guy who collapsed from lack of sleep? Saki fell silent. Sometimes reason got through to her. I just wished it got through to her more often. But at this rate, it looked like I was being mean. I reached out my hand and petted Saki on the head. Hey, part of why I'm tired is because you stayed the night, you know? And you showed me a dream like that? I almost said it out loud, but managed to stop myself. In the morning when I woke up, Saki's pajamas were quite disheveled. Whoa. Actually, yeah, they were. They were quite disheveled, and if we would have gave in, it was quite interesting what happened with the bad ending. Yeah, I don't want to relive that. Just seeing the scene, okay, and I had to censor it, and then just seeing whose face it actually was. Ah, nightmare fuel. I think we had plenty of opportunities to routinely temper my self-control and restraint. Yeah, you do that quite often. But it wasn't like I did it because I wanted to. I couldn't casually accept Saki staying overnight at my place again. So go home. Don't come over. Just as I said that, her face, which had a mix of embarrassment and acceptance when I petted her head, suddenly turned cold and sharp.
そうですか。兄さんがそうはっきり言うなら、今日は帰ることにするわ。
Yes. So anyways, I was thinking about inviting Yayoi over. Just invite her over. She could sleep over in our bed. I think I'm always bluntly telling you to go home, but...
それじゃあ、今日は帰ってゆっくり寝てくださいね。また同じようなことがあれば、今度こそ首輪をつけてでもうちに連れて行きますから。
What's with the girls in the games I'm playing being crazy and like trying to like talk about tying us up and apparently putting a collar on us? I don't need to know your fetishes. The fact that she was talking so formally was proof enough that she was mad, but if she's gonna go home, then I was fine with that. Because, I mean, so far she likes to have an incestuous relationship fetish, because we're not actually brother and sister, but she likes to pretend that we are. Fantasize about that. And then, apparently, she likes putting a collar on us. Good to know. Just then, Takahara-san's car arrived. I waved at Saki as she headed for it, but she turned the other way with a humph. Okay, showing me some attitude. Takahara-san seemed confused as to what had happened. She looked at me since it was most likely that made Saki angry. Fair enough. But there was no need for me to answer. I bowed my head slightly at her and headed home. Yes, okay, that was the best thing you did. It's just like ignored it and then just walked away. Not actually sleepy though. We're walking around town. The sleep my body wanted had almost been completely satisfied by the nap I took until lunch. My mind had been able to get some rest from the tea party with Alice, too. I was thankful for the opportunity to take a break from my lucid dreams. In the end, I told Saki not to come, mostly because I didn't want her lingering there to become the norm. I didn't want to think about what would happen in that case, and I didn't want her to do it. Because of that recent dream, I had started to be more aware of Saki as a girl. Wow, crazy. You could say that dream meant that Saki wouldn't mind if I had made a move on her. Yes, there's no other way to interpret that. I'm glad you're aware of that. I hadn't wanted to notice, but Saki probably didn't have the intention of saying anything about this at this point. But having been shown something like that, I didn't know what to do. I could tell that Saki was trying to live normally without worrying about it. I seriously doubted that she had completely forgotten the dream or forgotten only those convenient parts of the dream. I wanted to keep living normally too, but I didn't know when I might make a mistake. I wanted to do everything I could to avoid that mistake. After all, I sometimes found myself thinking it might be okay if I just charged forward and did whatever I wanted. Regardless as to whether this meant I was strong-willed or weak-willed is a pain. I thought this as I walked in front of the train station. Suddenly I noticed a sound I normally didn't pay attention to, a street musician. I had sometimes heard foreigners playing ethnic music in front of the station, but today a girl from my school was the one singing. Oh, we're finally meeting the new girl. This is supposed to be the last one we haven't seen yet. She was a student from the annex building as opposed to the main building. Her guitar looked quite large compared to her small figure. So she's from the annex building. Is the annex building technically younger? If I'm understanding that right? Like, it's kind of like some younger grades? Because there goes through 6th grade. So I'm assuming there's 3 in that and 3 in the other building. So she's probably a little bit younger, I would imagine. Guitar looked quite large compared to her small figure. Normally I would have passed by without paying much attention to who was singing, but today for some reason I stopped. She was cute. That wasn't why I stopped. Yeah, that's what I would have told myself too. Her voice was quiet and refreshing. It wasn't like she was incredibly good or anything. And it wasn't like I fell for her voice or felt like it was destiny or anything cheesy like that. I just felt I couldn't move from that spot. I couldn't tell what it was that caught my interest, but there I stood and listened until the song ended. When it ended, I was the only one standing there. It was dusk. We were in front of the station. She was cute. There wasn't anything else that caught my attention. Okay, we get it. Oh, I didn't stop because I liked her or anything. Yeah, you did. You're like, okay, she's kind of cute. You know, she's a good singer, you know. Got nothing else to do. Might as well stop. And especially because she's technically from your school. Wasn't particularly good at playing the guitar, but I couldn't think of anything that was worth stopping for, which is probably an arrogant thought on my part. And yet I had stopped. Huh?
どうしました？
Hmm. Is she like a quiet type? Or am I gonna see that she's like another Misaki and she's like, what are you doing, Buster? Just because I was the only one there, she responded to me talking to myself. It's just, don't you have a case for people to put money in? Wasn't it normal to put offerings into an open guitar case or something?
別にいいんです。こんな時間じゃろくにもらえませんし。
Okay, she knows how much money you can get during each time of the day. Where am I supposed to put this 100 yen
い
then?
ただけるならもらいます。
She's like, you know, I wasn't asking, but if you're willing to, I'll take it. The girl held out her hand. I handed her the 100 yen I took it out of my
ありがとうござ
pocket.
います。
She bowed her head slightly. Well, it's not much, but is that okay?
大丈夫って何がですか？
We're close to school, but you're still in your uniform. This was the path the students used if they needed to take the train to and from campus. Wearing a Tsukiyo uniform and singing on the street made her stand out.
バイトや演奏活動が高速で禁止されてるわけじゃありませんから。
That's true. But it's not like I have all the school rules memorized. I had a part-time job to help ease my living expenses too, and I sometimes took on another job on top of it. I knew that wasn't forbidden for me, but I couldn't remember if that was the case for the annex building.
それに問題があるなら指導すればいいじゃないですか。
Yeah, would you like that? Like if I reprimanded you? Whatever that means. Was it my imagination or did she look like she wanted me to chide her? Next thing I knew, she had a cynical
ここで
smile.
制服で歌っていて問題があるなら生活指導でも何でもすればいいって言ったんです。こっちは何も隠してないんだから。気づいてないなら生活指導も役に立っていませんよね。
You're surprisingly rebellious. I like you. Don't you think they might be letting you off the hook out of goodwill or because you aren't doing anything
そう
bad?
妥協とか保身なら考えられますけど。
I mean, she's just playing a guitar. I mean, you could say it's a public disturbance, but I think she's okay. Even if there was a problem with your behavior, letting you off the hook as a compromise or laziness would be one thing, but isn't self-preservation a little
お
strange?
かしくありません。私、理事長の命ですから。
Gosh dang, everyone here has privilege. The girl said with a sigh as though that were a burden. Come to think of it, I think I've heard of you. I remember Tetsuya saying something about the school president's niece being an NX third year. That's oddly specific, but okay. He said that she was cute but really didn't get along with people that made her irresistible. Whoa, Tetsuya! He promptly received a low kick from Asahi, but afterwards they were happily flirting again. I like how this man openly like talks about other women in front of her. He gets a kick and then he somehow just smooths it over. Keiko-chan.
平坂です。恵子は下の名前ですけど。何ですかその慣れ慣れしい呼び方は。
Oh, I just heard my friend calling you that. I gotta say though, Keiko is one of like my favorite Japanese names, so hopefully I like her as a character. I offered that as my justification to Hirosaka, who had taken an obvious step back.
そんな呼び方されてるなんて初めて聞きました。
Well, he's like that to everyone. If you haven't heard anyone else call you that, then you probably aren't being called that. The school president's niece, so I could see that it would be hard for even a teacher to reprimand her.
まあいいです。それで先輩ですよね。
Yeah, keep calling me that. I like that. Just kidding. Now it's rubbing off on me. Oh my gosh. We're gonna stop while we're not ahead here. Oh yeah, I am. I'm Naito, a second year. Just so you know, I'm not trying to hit on you or anything. Yet.
ナイト？ああ、
I'm not what? Hold up. My reputation precedes me. Wait, what? How do you know? What did you hesitate
シス
for?
コンでお金持ちの家に引き取られた妹に、いいように尻に敷かれているあの内藤先輩ですね。
Lies and slander. I'm not obsessed with my sister. I don't have a sister. She's not actually my sister. It's just for role-playing purposes. Don't worry about it. So are these the rumors going around the annex
え
building?
え、くだらない噂ですね。ほんとどうでもいいことですけど。
You know, I like you better already. You don't care about rumors, okay? They're completely false anyways. I got the feeling obsessed with my sister and henpecked were pretty accurate, but it wasn't like she was really my sister.
訂正しないんですか？
Too much trouble, and they're just rumors. You don't seem like the type to be interested in them anyways. If the rumors went too far, then I might be killed by Takahara-san. And she was an adult, so she was capable of distinguishing between rumors and truth, I hope. No, I'm sorry. I've seen adults that gossip just as much as teenagers. And they definitely cannot distinguish. Hirosaka was looking at me with an expression that was hard to describe. Was she amused? I guess I don't want to impose too long. It was true that I had been the only one who stopped and listened. No one was complaining that the singing had stopped. So you say, but I'd rather like to. Others who think that way might start gathering around eventually. So you're doing it for you. I can respect somebody who just kind of worries about themselves and lets other people do their thing. She didn't sound like she was trying to act tough. No, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I wasn't trying to imply there was. Hirosaka really looked like she was fine with that. She didn't seem to seek attention, nor did she seem upset that she wasn't getting any. She just accepted it, even though I was listening. I sighed softly at that reply. I see, but at least lose the uniform. Even if no one reprimands you for it, you might attract some undesirable attention. Okay, now here's the test. He just said lose the uniform. What kind of character is she? Is she gonna just take that very literally? Or is she gonna have enough common sense to not just start stripping on the spot? I have to ask because there's a lot of characters who will just literally take that, like, oh, lose the uniform? Okay, I'll just take off my clothes. Okay, thank goodness, she's sane. That was the sane test, and she passed, so we're good. Worse than me. People have ulterior motives because of your looks rather than to hear you sing. Young girl in uniform singing. There are people who just like that sort of thing, and others might just try to hit on her. Either one would be troublesome for one girl to deal with alone. Hirosaka gave me an annoyed look. So I've heard. I don't think I am, though. Did we really need a flashback to have Yayoi teasing us again? The president said that too. Honestly, the people around me were all a little too honest. Honestly... Okay, I probably should have said that. Like, so many honests here in this sentence. Truthfully, I think it's nice to have people that are just genuine with you, and they will just kind of say what's on their mind sometimes. I definitely think there's a good balance between not just saying every single thought and, you know, being truthful. Like, you can be nice and still be truthful, but it's nice to have people that are willing to tell you hard things in life. Sometimes you just need to hear it. See you around, buy some tea or something with the 100 yen I gave you. Just as I was about to leave. Don't think Hirosaka meant anything by it, but now I looked bad. I walked back to Hirosaka and dropped another 100 yen coin in her hand. Oh my gosh. Just take it. She may or may not have been asking for it, but I wouldn't be satisfied unless I gave it to her. Yeah. She sighed, looking exasperated, and here I thought I was meddlesome. Well, take care of yourself. At least she's polite. Hirosaka bowed her head slightly. This time I really did walk away. Interesting character. I'm not really sure what to make of her. She's like... She's very nonchalant, but like semi-serious at the same time. I'm gonna need to have more experiences with her before I really kind of get down her character. But interesting. Okay, I'm glad we finally met her. I mean, what is this? We're like 7 episodes in now, and I'm just finally meeting one of the main characters. Behind me, I heard her start singing again. But again, no one was stopping. It was a voice that was just outside the edge of my awareness, like the voices of other people talking or the ambient music playing in a store. It was just music that was there, that you didn't pay any particular attention to. And Hirosaka said so unenthusiastically that it was fine. Is she really just fine with that? I looked back at her. I shouldn't stick my nose in any further. I thought, appalled at my own meddlesomeness. I don't know. I think maybe being in this environment of the kind of the city and she's just singing, she's vibing is what she's doing. You know, she's having a good time. She's not doing it for anybody else. She's doing it for herself. And I think sometimes that's nice to do. I really like seeing people just kind of get into something and they're just kind of in their own world, you know? I think a lot of people, and myself included sometimes, kind of see that at first and kind of just be like, oh, this person's really weird. Like, what are they doing? But I think at the end of the day, it is a beautiful thing to just kind of get lost in the world around you and just enjoy your environment. All right, so we met Keiko. Arasaka? Was that her name? Keiko Harasaka? I dreamed again today. Oh boy, we're jumping straight into it. I'm wondering if Maya's gonna be here or if we'll get some more time with Alice. I'm not gonna count on that. It become completely commonplace for me to come to this room when I dream. I'm alone today, huh? In that case, it was the same as it used to be. I only happened to be in this room. I passed by the sweets of a table and sat down on a large sofa before flopping onto my side. The sofa was so incredibly comfortable as usual, though. I felt like I was about to fall asleep, even though this was a dream. But not for long. There's a window in the ceiling, too, I thought. Just then the window opened and something fell through it. I didn't know what those flesh-colored things were at first, but I soon realized they were legs. And not just legs, there was a body attached. Wow. Crazy. Actually, it was Alice. Is she just breaking in? She's just breaking into our little dream here. She didn't seem to realize or think that anyone was below her. Not that her skirt had been pulled up from entering feet first. She dropped down. Hey, wait a sec. I sat up and my feet were on the armrest, so I couldn't move right away. Oh boy. You already know there's gonna be a very lewd CG right here. Alice fell on top of me. I mean, I knew it was coming, and I'm still disappointed. Don't mean a strange English landed on me butt first. Her legs were both facing me, and she fell back. One of her legs got caught in the back of the sofa. Naturally, her skirt was no longer fulfilling its intended purpose. If you're asking me whether I'm okay or not, I'm just barely okay, but it's a little painful, but maybe because this was a dream and how I'd imagined I'd catch her, the result was somewhat comical. Are you okay, with this situation, I mean? Don't move around on me. Yeah, apparently we are dumb pervert. You're the one who landed on me, okay? And she has like this heart-shaped birthmark, which is very interesting. Alice tried to get down, but because of the position she was in, she couldn't move very well and flailed wildly. The sensation of having her roll around on me was both soft and suffocating. Get off already. I felt the slightest honestly, I did. Slightest bit of regret, but I grabbed her and rolled her off of me. Why do we have to throw in such a lewd scene there? It adds nothing but just making her look weird. I calmed the struggling Alice down and let out a sigh. Right in the face, she looked at me warily, but if she was so wary, what was with the position of her legs? It's not that I have a problem. Not that I have a problem with. It's this dream. It's not you I have a problem with, this dream. There we go. Sorry, I kept reading that whole sentence wrong. At present, I was visiting this room just as I had expected I would. This was the norm now. I was in my apartment when I woke up and in this room when I went to sleep. It's almost like this is another reality. When I thought that, another sigh escaped my lips. Alice didn't seem to like my attitude. She glared at me with narrowed eyes as she held her tea with both hands. You don't have a problem with being called here every single night? Yeah, I think in a way this is her reality. That's a fair point. Come to think of it, Alice didn't have any memories of when she was awake. That's no fun. She only remembered being here. If she didn't feel worried or afraid or inconvenienced from that, then that was fine. I'm just imagining the meme like, oh, this is fine, where everything is burning around you. If the same thing happened to me, well, if that happened, I'd probably be fine with that too. Because I wouldn't even remember what I was worried about. It's nice being an inhabitant of dreams, isn't it? No school, no tests.
なんかの歌みたい。だけど、学校は行ってみたいかな。
So if we can bring people like Saki into our dreams, can we bring people out of them? I wonder. I was relieved to see Alice change topics so easily. She must have decided to forget about what we were just talking about. I flopped down on the sofa again.
だらけてるね。さっき昼寝もしたっていうのに。それとも、もしかして。
Not hurt or anything from you falling on me, it's just how can I be motivated in a place like this? The room, which had a delicious sweet smell and a strange color scheme. To me, this was the place where a nightmare I had been averting my eyes from appeared. How could I keep smiling after being invited to a place like that? And on top of that, I couldn't escape, so it was easier to give up and wait rather than being on my guard. Hey Alice, can I ask you something?
ちょっと待って。エッチなことはなし。ノーセンキューで。
Okay, nope. Didn't ask. Why would you think I'd ask
だ
that?
って、さきちゃん相手に我慢して、なんかこう、男の子のハートとか、余裕がギリギリなんじゃないかなと。さっきもなんか。
I mean, to be fair, you're the one who's literally, like, quite literally throwing themselves at me from the roof, okay? I don't want to hear it from you. I get that you're putting things in a weird way because you're embarrassed, but I wouldn't do something like that without consent.
そうだね。
What are you trying to
なん
say?
でもないよ、なんでも。さきちゃんはいいって言ってたよなとか思って。
What was that about? With both hands, I smushed Alice's cheeks and then pulled on them. I didn't consent to that. Is there anything else you want to say?
セクハラ反対です。
I don't think that's sexual harassment if it's the cheeks, okay? But part of this was sexual harassment. I let her go, but if she's gonna worry about that, then I wanted her to rethink how she was sitting. Not thinking about that at all. With both hands, Alice rubbed the cheeks I just pulled on.
トールは私に何を聞きたいの？
Alice asked, seemingly paying little to no heed to our previous bit of nonsense. Oh yeah, I was just wondering if maybe I'm too meddlesome. I suddenly started thinking about what happened between me and Hirasaka. Hirasaka, that's her name. Not Harasaka, it's Hirasaka. There's nothing wrong about seeing in the street, but something about her words about it being fine if no one listened to her weighed on my mind. But I wondered if she was just being meddlesome. If I was just being meddlesome from worrying about that.
トールはおせっかいだと思う。
Alice didn't even hesitate. Well, good. This is actually something I agree with her on. I was so shocked that I involuntarily let out an A. Very Japanese of you. In response, Alice let out an A too and looked at me with a surprised expression.
まさかと思うけど、自覚なかったの？
No, he was not. It's not that I'm just shocked that someone I just met would tell me that. I was to some degree self-aware, but still.
おせっかいっていうのもちょっと違うかな。
I mean, you could just say you're curious, and you just kind of let your curiosity go. You don't really hold back. Kind of pathetic that I felt so relieved after hearing her change of heart. Yeah, rather than that. Oh, I'm reading her line.
厄介事を抱え込みそうなタイプというか、それを無責任に放り投げられないタイプというか。
Yeah, I could say that's accurate.
苦労人気質？考えすぎてドツボにはまるんだけど、考えない生き方もできないからどうしようもないっていう。
Interesting. That's enough, please. You don't have to say it. Was she really a counter personality born from my mind? I wanted to cry so much I couldn't help but think that.
ほら、もうちょっと気楽にしてみたら？やりたいようにやってみたりさ。
But self-restraint is important, isn't it? Yeah, I would say so.
だからそれがダメなんだって。それができないから抱え込みっぱなしになるんだよ。
I mean, that's why you need balance. You need... As a person, I feel like you need to be... Not really selfish, but you need to take care of your own needs, too. I don't think that's selfish to do so. You need to kind of look out for yourself first, right? And now when most people hear that, when you're like, okay, I'm just gonna take care of myself, like that just sounds really selfish, right? Like I'm gonna put myself first. I'm just gonna do what makes me happy. I think there's that's kind of impossible not to do. I think you kind of need to put yourself first in some ways, in moderation. Like not just put yourself first in every single situation, but you need to like make sure you're taking care of yourself, or you're gonna have a hard time taking care of others. If you're constantly looking at others and just trying to help them and not even taking care of your own needs, like you're not sleeping enough, you're not eating, it's gonna be really hard for you to do that. I always like the example of it's hard to save someone who's drowning if you're drowning yourself. So you gotta have a balance, is what I'm trying to say. Even so, there was a time for self-restraint, at least when it came to Saki. I felt that was extremely important. Yeah, but frankly, right now I was using a lot of self-restraint, just trying to figure out how to deal with Alice. I wasn't dried up enough to think nothing of having a defenseless girl near me when with no one around to see, but this was a dream. When I thought that she was probably part of my mind, I felt reluctant, but I was already familiar with what it felt like to want to die from self-loathing afterwards.
我慢は大事だけど理性も大事。わかるよね。もう一度言うと、エッチなのはノーサンキューで。
Did you just come here to jerk me around? Maybe I should just push her down after. Whoa, my guy! I thought as I sat back down on the sofa just then, the doors opened up a creak.
ここは
What the? How did you get in here? Hey, yo, what the heck? That was unexpected. Saki! I tried to say that as much as a Japanese character would. Like, oh, Saki! Saki-san? Seeing me, Saki took a step towards me. Behind her, the doors closed by themselves.
こんばんは、兄さん。ずいぶん楽しんでるみたいね。
I mean, I like Saki a lot more when it comes to her being in the dream world, because look at her outfit. This outfit is so much better. Like, it's great. That's all I'm gonna say. It's like when you're in an anime and you see a character just kind of wearing normal clothes and then they wear a kimono and like the main character's like, oh my gosh, like I've never seen you like this before. You look like so beautiful. And like that's kind of the difference between Saki and normal outfit and this. Like it's like wearing a kimono. The way she was smiling sent a chill down my spine. I don't look tired.
そちらのアリスさんとずいぶん楽しそうにしてたみたいですけど、何をしようとしていたのかしら?
I was gonna push her down. I'm just gonna be honest, that's what Toru was gonna do. That's what he wanted. Saki gave me an annoyed, icy stare. Where has she been watching from? Hey, wait, more importantly, Saki, why are you here?
どうしてと言われても、勝手にここに来たとしか。
Okay, theory time. I know you guys like this. You guys like when I share my theories, okay? I'm still trying to figure out if this room has anything to do with Toru. And I kind of want to say that it doesn't. So we're in this room. We keep coming back to this room. And it's kind of like a shared conscience. It's kind of like a shared dream. And we kind of discussed that. I just kind of want to reaffirm that theory has some validity. Like, this is kind of like a shared meeting place. We're kind of like I feel like we're kind of in somebody else's dream. But we're still a dreamer in the sense that we can kind of still lucid dream. We can still kind of make things happen. But if you remember, it's almost like Maya was making things happen too. Like, it was her dreaming as well. So I'm wondering, is this our dream? Or is this a dream that we're connecting to every time we dream? So we still kind of have the power to like change things because it is a dream world, but it's not necessarily because it's our dream. So this is kind of like a meeting hub, and maybe it's somebody else's dream. Maybe this is Alice's dream. I have no idea. They kind of implied that it's Maya's, because there's like the scent of the forest and stuff, right? And there's the tea. I don't know. It just kind of fits Maya. It could be hers as well. I really need to have more knowledge before I can make a clear decision on that. I'm just kind of, like I said, theorizing what possibilities here. But yeah, Saki's kind of connecting to like this shared dream. And I think now that she kind of connected once, I think she just kind of is tuned in and can do it again. It's entirely possible that same thing happened to Alice. Alice just kind of connected to this at some point. Now she keeps connecting here. It could be Could be Maya's dream? I don't know though, because she doesn't always appear. So I'm really confused about that. Anyways, I think I'll leave kind of some of my thoughts and theories right there. Maybe we'll get some more information soon. Not counting on it. You didn't sneak into my apartment after I fell asleep, did you?
あら、してほしいの？してい
No.
いの？
No. No. Yeah. It's okay if you don't. Please don't. If she felt like it, Saki could easily use her duplicate key to invade my apartment in the middle of the night. Saki smiled faintly, so I thought that was what she had done tonight,
ご期
but...
待に添えなくて悪いけれど、今日は兄さんの部屋には行ってないわ。
Oh, trust me, it was not disappointing at all. Oops, I didn't mean to open that. I felt a wave of relief at those words. Alice watched us from a distance. Why did you sit so far away?
兄弟の楽しい時間を邪魔するのも悪いと思って。
Don't worry about it. You can interrupt all you want. If that's what this looks like, then I recommend a doctor. Counseling is pretty effective after all.
兄さんには役に立たなかったけどね。
I guess, yeah. You got me there. Saki nonchalantly sat down on the sofa I'd been using and looked up at me. It was a little embarrassing, but I couldn't very well run away, so I sat down next to her. I think the other important thing to remember about counseling, just as a quick note here, that counseling can help you, like, kind of detach certain emotions from traumatizing situations. It can kind of help you grasp reality and realize maybe like things that happened weren't your fault, or that you shouldn't have to feel like you need to beat yourself up, or whatever it is that like you do when you have that trauma. Whatever you feel, you can kind of detach some of that, but it doesn't really necessarily get rid of your problems. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of make that clarification. I mean, counseling definitely helps you with past trauma or experiences that are difficult for you or certain emotions, but it doesn't necessarily get rid of everything. It's to help you, not to solve your problems, you know? At least that's how it's been in my experience. A little embarrassing, but I couldn't very well run away, so I sat down next to her. I guess we can have the same dream even if we're as far apart as Saki's house is from my place.
そうだね。多分だけど、私もトールのすぐ近くにはいないと思うし。
Interesting that she says that, because she doesn't remember anything, so how would she know? She just kind of has a feeling, I guess. Alice was one thing, but had Saki accepted the dream situation we were in?
まあいいや。はい、さきちゃん紅茶。ミルクと砂糖はその辺にあるから。ありがとうございます。
Saki took the tea Alice offered and drank it quietly. The room was silent. Saki looked around as I pondered whether this was the real Saki. Another curious thing about this whole dream world is, what is the purpose of it? What is the grander scheme here? Is it to help us to get closer together? For Maya to reconnect with Saki and I? Because, like, if you want to go down that route, it's like, why is everybody else here? Is this like trying to make up for lost time? Maybe just having new friends will make it more interesting than just having us three be alone? I don't really know. I'm trying to understand the purpose of this. Now let's watch this as we did so.
ねえ兄さん、きちんと覚えてないんだけど、私の見たあの夢は結局何だったのかしら。
Lucky murmured suddenly. Dreams are just dreams in the end, aren't they? But I remembered Maya saying that was the dream Saki wished for. That was all Maya had said, so I didn't know if it was true or not. Even if she did wish for it, it might have simply been a what-if that occurred as a result of how much time she spent with
あら、
me.
兄さん、そんな意味で言ったんじゃないのに。もしかして何か隠したいことでもあるの？
Wait, where did that come from?
なんだかこの話はしたくないから適当に切り上げたいのかと思って。
It was true that I didn't want to go into too much
それに
detail.
どうやって終わったかもよく覚えてないのよね。兄さんなら知ってるんじゃないかしら。
Nope, actually I don't. Yeah, sorry, my memory's a little foggy. Of course I knew, but did she actually want me to say it? I looked at Saki. She didn't look worried. Instead, she was grinning at me. Maybe she was lying about not
ちょっ
remembering.
と待って、そんな意味じゃないって言ったけど、だったらどういう意味のこと？
I was relieved that Alice came to my rescue. Saki stopped messing around with me and returned to the topic at hand.
忘れている夢が幸せな夢だったっていうのはわかるのよ。あと、兄さんが目を覚まさせてくれたっていうのも。だからもし、兄さんたちが起こしてくれなかったら、私はどうなっていたのかしらって思ったの。
きっとサキちゃんは夢から目覚めなかったでしょうね。
Gosh, we're getting into some real shit here. I like it. Alice answered without hesitation, as if it was common sense to her. Alice, let's say hypothetically that Saki's wish did come true. Would that cause the dream to end? When the desire was fulfilled, wouldn't the dream end since that was the
叶っ
goal?
たところで綺麗に終わればそれは終わるかも。だけど例えばお金持ちになりたいって願った後、そのお金を使わないかな。使いたいでしょ。
Okay, I'll move my camera real quick just so you guys can kind of read the whole thing here. I think I kind of understand what she's implying. So if you have a goal that's pretty close-ended, you know, something that once you achieve, it's done. Then the dream might end. But here's kind of the monkey paw, or like how you can kind of twist that. So she's talking about having a goalpost. Your goalpost is that you want to become rich. Okay, well now that you're rich, you want to do more. So you move the goalpost. You're rich, but maybe you're not as rich as you want to be. And maybe being rich, you want to be able to like spend that money. You don't want to just become rich. You want to feel rich. And to feel rich, you want to be able to spend that. You want to live in luxury, right? Like you could kind of twist that around. Like, what does it mean to be rich? I mean, your own definition could affect that, or somebody else's definition for you could affect that. So I feel like this is kind of a matter of a moving goalpost. So in Saki's case, maybe it's that she wanted to be with Toru, right? And you can interpret that as like, okay, they get together and, you know, they're in love, right? But that's not where it ends. Maybe it's now it's pushed to when they get married, so they get married, right? Maybe it's pushed to when they have kids, you know. Her definition of what it means to be with Toru and be happy with him, just it keeps moving forward. I'm gonna have to see if I'm right about that. Dreams were kind, especially if it was a dream filled with your wishes.
幸せな世界は終わらない。だって人はみんないつまでも幸せでいたいはずだもの。
Yeah, because that's the thing. When you live your life just reaching after a goalpost and you keep extending the goalpost, it almost feels like you're not achieving something. When you're constantly like trying to hit these superficial goals and then, I don't know, you just kind of, you don't stay happy after you hit it. You don't just be like, okay, I want to be rich, and then you're happy. You know, you got to find ways to use your wealth to stay happy. It's not just the act of being rich that makes you happy. It's the act of being able to, of what you can do being rich that makes you happy, if that makes sense. It's not just black and white, is what I'm saying. The nightmares that I had, if that desire was fulfilled, I knew what would happen. And since I was part of the dream, there was a strong possibility for that never-ending dream to occur.
この夢はやっぱり終わらないかもしれないのね。
On the other hand, if the dream does end cleanly or whatever, they'll wake up, right? I think the other thing is, once you, kind of what they're saying is once you reach that goal of like, oh, I want to be with this person, I'm with this person, you don't want that to end. I think that's pretty much what Alice was actually saying. I was just kind of adding on to it. You don't want it to end, so you're not going to wake up after that, right? It's not like you became the best at something and then you're satisfied and you don't need to ever do it again. And that would be a case of it ending cleanly. With wanting to be with somebody, that's not something you're going to want it to have stopped afterwards. They say all dreams end, but those were the words of someone who was able to wake up. If you were trapped in a dream and it ended there, you wouldn't be able to say that to anyone.
なんか二人ともずいぶん納得早いけど、もしかして覚めない夢に心当たりがある？トールはなんか経験があるとか言ってた気がするんだけど。
I have. I've never experienced sharing a dream with someone before, though. I also knew that even if the dreamer didn't wake up and gave up on reality, it didn't necessarily mean that they'd be able to get out of it. Then again, once you had been captured by a dream, there's no guarantee that things would ever be the same. Neither the dreams nor reality.
なんでアリスさんはいろいろ詳しく知ってるんですか？
I also think dreams definitely spoil reality. I think having so many limitless options and being able to fulfill your desires in a dream will definitely make you not want to go back to reality. You don't want to go back to a reality where you have to work hard and um, there's just no guarantee that things will work out. You would much rather be in a dream where everything feels achievable.
ほら、夢ってさ、こういうことになってるって理不尽だけど当たり前に受け入れられることあるじゃない。そういうのだと思う。
Like the dream I had one time where I was fighting with a lightsaber. I mean, that's probably pretty unreasonable, but I just kind of accepted it in the dream, right? Like, oh, this is my reality. Well, it is a dream. But I knew about not being able to escape from a dream from experience, not something vague like that. Despite the fact that I could tell it was a dream, it wouldn't end no matter how much I distorted it and tried to destroy it. The dreamer had to put an end to things, and only then could we do something with the flower that was the source of the nightmare. What a pain. As I was thinking this, Saki looked at me as though she wanted to say something. Okay, so I think this was important. I kind of wanted to reread this real quick, just being able to see it all right here, because I think this is quite important to how we're going to be able to get people out of dreams. So you could tell that it was a dream, but it wouldn't end no matter how much you distorted it or tried to destroy it. The dreamer had to put an end to things. Okay, so the dream, this is kind of going back to Saki's dream, where it kind of kept fixing itself. Like we would change something, but then it was like a story that like you tried to erase part of it, but it just rewrote itself to make sense. I think that's kind of what happened. And then you have to kind of get the dreamer themselves to kind of want to end it. I was thinking that Saki looked at me as though she wanted to say something. What's wrong?
私の悪い夢は終わったとしたら、次はもしかして兄さんの番なんじゃないかなと思って。
Well, that's certainly possible. Saki knew what my bad dream would be.
私か。それともさきちゃんの2度目がない保証もないけどね。
Alice put her teacup down with a
自分が
clatter.
どんな夢を見るか心当たりある？
I mean, is there a way to determine that? Yes, but I'm not telling you. Though she noticeably pouted, I doubt Alice assumed that even I would tell her so easily. Saki knows if something happens to me, ask her, I won't tell you. Care if she tells you then. Are we gonna have a dream about Maya? I'm guessing we're gonna have the dream of us walking through the forest, okay? I thought she was just asking in general, that's why I said, how would you tell? But she's asking Toru specifically, like, kind of what dream he would have. Yeah, because I think he would probably have the forest one. I think that seems to be his reoccurring dream. Besides, my nightmare was simple. If Alice got involved, she'd probably figure out what it was right away. Judging by the troubled look on Saki's face, she must have known too.
私が見た夢くらいのことで済めばいいわね。
They keep doing this. They keep saying like, oh, they're getting really cheerful. Like, oh yeah, there's nothing bad that happened today. This will be my last one, you know. It just makes me think things are gonna go terribly wrong. So I wouldn't want anyone to see my dream.
さきちゃんにあんな。
Sounded like Alice was gonna say something, so I hastily threw a scone into her mouth.
ねえ兄さん、結局最後私はどんな夢を見ていたの？
I'll tell you eventually. I don't want to say it now. But even when I evaded Saki like this, she looked at me with cold eyes. That was pretty much Saki's equivalent of puffing out her cheeks, so it wasn't scary at all. Although I didn't have much confidence when it came to someone stopping me or waking me up, it would be good if things ended with a dream like Saki's. If Maya targeted me, and I were dragged into the sort of dream that Saki and I were imagining, I didn't want to say that I definitely wouldn't win or I wouldn't be able to wake up from the dream. My reality was in the world I woke up to. I had no intention of getting caught up in the world of dreams a second time. But if I was swallowed by the dream and didn't wake up, then would the two girls here get dragged into it as well? I didn't know much about Alice, but that was because she didn't have much to do with me, and I had caused Saki tons of trouble up until now. I couldn't get either of them involved. For that reason, I had to settle things with Maya on my own, even if it meant destroying the dream. That way, if I rejected the dream, there would be no problems, and if I failed, then the only one who would be dragged back in was me.
兄さん、またろくでもないことを考えてるみたいだけど。
もしかして怒ってる？いや、男の子だし、エッチな夢を見るくらいは仕方ないと思うから気にしなくてもいいわよ。
Why does everything have to be sexualized? Like, it's not anything sexual. No, it's just daydreaming.
強がっちゃって。素直に二人に助けてって言えばいいじゃない。
Interesting. I was wondering if she was going to show up. I think it's very strange that she's been oddly absent. The expression before I knew it couldn't be more apt. Maya hugged me around the neck from behind. I suddenly smelled honey and forest. Perhaps it was because I was trying not to recall those painful memories. My mind went blank for a moment. The reason I'm not sure if it's Maya's dream, and I don't think it is because he only says he smells the forest when she's around. And I think the very first time he ended up in this place, he kind of smelled the forest because I think she was lingering around there. It's not necessarily that this location was in that forest, but maybe it is. Because I think he said he looked out the window and he did see a lot of trees and stuff. So maybe it is. I'm overthinking. I'm forgetting details. So yeah, this might be in the forest. I'm just not sure. Is it Maya's dream? I don't know. My vision went white. I lost all sensation, like you do right before you feel lightheaded. Saki's voice brought me back to my senses.
夢の中にいらっしゃい。紅茶の味はいかがかしら。お菓子も遠慮しないで好きに食べていいのよ。
It could be Maya's dream, but I think there's got to be more to it than that. Maya stepped away from me and onto the table. She walked across it to the opposite side. The teapots and confectionery plates rattled, but Maya didn't step on anything. She took a seat on the other side of the table and sloppily poured herself a cup as though she were in a cartoon and began to drink.
君がここにいるってことは、もしかして今日もまた何かするつもり？
Alice began to speak in a wary manner completely different from when she'd been talking to us. Saki hardly moved, but she held on to one of my sleeves tightly.
そうよ。夢のお話にご招待。さて、今夜はどんな夢になるかしら。
Interesting. So we're going into another dream.
だけど、残念。まだ準備が整ってないの。もう少し。
If it's not ready, then why are you out here drinking tea?
だってみんなが楽しそうなんですもの。私だけのけ者なんて寂しいじゃない？
Even though she sat on the other side of the table, those words felt like they'd been whispered into my ear. Another theory is that it's not even anybody's dream, it's just a dream world that we all happen to connect to, and Maya is kind of like trapped here, I guess. It's not necessarily because it's her dream, it just so happens to be that she is stuck here. Or from some other worldly reason, I don't know. I keep wanting to like think about it and figure it out, and I just can't. I just don't have all the answers, and it's frustrating me constantly. I keep mentioning it. When I turned around, she was already somewhere else.
別に望んでなんてないし、準備もしなくていいのに。本当にいいのかしら。それで後悔しない？
Maya grinned at Alice. Ooh, is it targeted at Alice then? I don't know. I actually would kind of want to go into a dream with Alice, because that's probably going to give us a lot more clarity as to her life, and maybe if she has a reality outside of these dreams.
どういう意味よ？わからない。
Give us her backstory.
私がしているのは夢の案内だけ。あなたたちみたいに好きに書き換えたりなんてできないの。
You're just the guide. What is the guide to the river Styx called?
私にできるのは夢の望む形を表に出すだけなの。脚本を書き換えるような真似は無理だわ。
So you set it in motion, you can't rewrite what happens. Alice and I could interrupt that script, but Maya could only perform according to the script. I didn't know how much of that was true, though. Maya, what do you mean by you won't regret it? I had been through this before, so I wasn't going to embarrass myself like last time. I was calmer than I thought I'd be. Of course, I couldn't be my usual self completely, and I felt like I was just barely getting by
私
somehow.
は幸せな夢にその人をご招待するわ。 別に止めないならそれでもいいんだけど。
Maya looked at me and giggled. In other words, if we don't butt in, then they can stay happy.
さあ、本人が幸せな夢なんていらないって目を覚ますのは止めないし、何よりさっきも言ったけど止められないし。
I wonder how much of this is true. Because kind of the vibe I'm getting is she's saying, I don't really have any real power. I can kind of introduce you to the dream. But everything that happens after that is kind of on you. Like, if you give in to the happy dream, if you go along with it and you're enjoying yourself, then I'm just letting you do that. I'm not really keeping you there. You are the only one who gets you out of the dream, right? You can choose to say, I don't need this happy dream and wake up.
それに手を出しても夢から目を覚ましたくないって言うかもしれないじゃない。
I said this with a giggle. I thought maybe she was responding to what I'd been thinking earlier, but suddenly, I heard a footstep from the other side of the doors. Alice seemed to hear it too, and she gave me a look.
やっと来たのね。
Okay, I'm really curious who it is. I'm wondering if it's Yayoi. But Maya said this door's open for Creek.
あら？トールとサキちゃん？
Okay, it was Yayoi. Wow, that's an outfit. I mean, I've already seen it. You can see it on the home screen. There's a lot of places you can see it. We're seeing it up close now. Oh boy. As we looked at Club President in bewilderment, she stepped into the room. Oh crap, before I could even think that doors had closed behind her. If I pushed her back in before she entered the room, then maybe she wouldn't have gotten involved in the
この
tree.
人、トールたちの知り合い？
ええ。二人の頼りになる先輩ってとこかしら。
What Prez said as she put her hand to her chest proudly, you're not going to pretend to be prim and proper even though you've never met her. Maya smiled as she sat in her chair. I didn't want to lower my guard in front of her, not after what she did to
寝てる
Saki.
間くらいいいじゃない。どうせ夢なんでしょこれ。確かに不思議ね。
But Prez's heels clicked as she walked around
こ
the
れが
room.
夢だって分かってるのに目が覚めないなんて。なるほど。ルシッドドリームってこんな感じなのかしら。
She leaned out of the window and admired the mishmash of colors of the forest outside. I was already familiar with what it was like out there, so my eyes went to Club Prez instead. Oh boy. Everything below her waist was sticking out towards her, and every time she moved, her butt would sway side to side, even though she had a tail. The sight of Club Prez in tights and with her own spare butt sticking out made Alice let out a wah in astonishment.
兄さん、あれ、どう見てもウサギよね。
Definitely gonna have to censor some things this episode, that's for sure. She's got the ears and everything, so I'd say yes.
耳？ん？お、なにこれ？お、なによこの格好。
I do wonder about their outfits, if that's something decided for them or if that's something they subconsciously want. Lopez reached out and felt her rabbit ears on her head. I didn't know if they were real or not, but it wasn't something simple like a headband, so it felt like they were growing directly out of her head. Her outfit consisted of a low-cut, almost tailcoat-like outer garment, and something that resembled a bikini bottom, complete with what looked like a tail. Is this supposed to be a bunny suit? Yes, Tower, yes. That's clearly what it is. Alice took out a hand mirror from her pocket and handed it to Club Prez, who peered into it.
やだ。かっこいい。
I look so cool.
兄さん、何か言ってあげないと。
It's not cool, it's sexy. Definitely sexy. Yes, Toru. Chad.
わざわざ二度言わなくてもいいんじゃないかな。
というか、なんでトールは格好が普段と変わってないの？この調子なら、イカレ帽子屋とかになってると思ったのに。
Good point. The Mad Hatter, huh? Mad, huh? What was she talking about?
ああ、気づいてないならいいわ。なるほど、そうなのね。
Wow, you guys spoiled me. I wasn't supposed to know this is an Alice in Wonderland reference? Crazy. In this short span of time, Club Press seemed to have realized something, but didn't look like she was going to
それ
tell
よ
us.
りも、さっきからトールにくっついてるその子、どちら様かしら？
I looked back and saw Maya clinging to my back as she floated in the air.
それはまだ教えたくないみたいだから黙っておくわ。
Interesting, that's oddly considerate of you. Maya was hugging me quite
トー
tightly.
ルってば相変わらず年下が好きなのね。
Wow, okay, nice, thanks.
ああ、 だからサキちゃんとか。
If you just blindly accept a situation like that, then there's going to be a misunderstanding. Saki dug her nails into my wrist as though she had a complaint to my complaints of voice. Okay. More importantly, Maya, why is Club Prez here? Number of people I couldn't get involved had increased. I couldn't help but be a little angry. I mean, I think by this point, Toru, you could realize that everyone close to you is getting involved here. And Alice. We just don't know much about Alice's story yet. I tore Maya off me and asked her.
それならサキちゃんだってどうしてここにいるのかしらね。それはトールの関係者だから？
In that case, why are you here, Alice? Why hadn't Maya brought up Alice just now? Was it because Alice had been here since the beginning? Something wasn't adding up.
とよくわかんないけど、そっちのアリスちゃんもトールのどこかにかかったってことでいいのかしら。
By that logic, I must have made a move on you too, Club Prez.
放課後の準備室で私にあんなことまでしておいてとぼける気なの？
What? I didn't do any such thing. She dug her nails into my hand again. Saki, she's obviously joking. I mean, I've never done anything to you, right?
そういえばそうだったわね。
Is Maya gonna chime in here?
ほんとひどいわよね。
Okay, I saw that one coming. Toru, you walked into that one. Like, you can't just say that. Maya sounded like she was referring to Saki's dream from before.
で、トールはなんでこんな楽しそうな夢見てんのにあんな嫌そうな顔してたのよ。まさか毎晩特会引っかえ朝までハーレムめいたことしてたのが疲れたとか言わないわよね。
Misunderstandings. I won't. And Maya, does Club Prez being here mean that Maya was grinning at me until as I realized what her plan was? Even though I wanted to be wrong, Maya didn't stop smiling.
今日の舞台はお姉さんの夢よ。
Oh, so it's not going to be about Alice.
なん
Okay.
てお呼びすればいいのかしら。ルートウィッチお姉様？
Oh, so we're going to see Yayoi's dream. Okay.
マヤちゃんみたいな可愛い子にお姉様って呼ばれるのはゾクゾクするけど長いわね。
何かあだ名とかないのかしら。エリザベスさんもベスって呼んだりとかするみたいに。
一応ルートビッチはルーイになるんだけど、名前でいいわよ。
弥生さん？なんかしっくりこないわね。
Certainly. Yayoi wasn't the kind of name that you'd expect from a blonde bunny girl.
それじゃあルーティ、今日の準備はできているかしら。
準備？何の？
あらダメじゃない。きちんと説明してなかったの？
Wait, don't. Maya, Club Press is unrelated. Don't get anyone else involved. And why did you call her
呼んだ
anyways?
というより来たのよ。しょうがないじゃない。だってみんなこんなにそっくりなんだもの。
After all, you're all so similar. Maya moved away from me and went to Club Press. She spun around as she placed her arms around Club Prez's
私た
neck.
ちがそっくりってどこがかしら？
Me, Alice, Saki, and Club Prez. If we were very similar, then that meant the majority of people in the world were very similar. But Maya giggled.
そのうちわかるわ。さてと、それじゃあルーティンにも一つだけ大事なことを説明しておかないといけないわね。
何？夢の中で怪我をしたら現実でも怪我しちゃうとか？
We're an SAO now. Club Prez sounded pretty confident. I guess she remembered most of the details I've been telling her these past
そんな
years.
ひどいことにはならないわ。夢はもっと優しいもの。
Oh, are they? Maya put her hand on Club Prez's
目
cheek.
を覚ましたくなければ、この夢はずっと続いてくれるわ。
Nope, don't tempt her, you
それ
temptress.
だけは覚えて。
Wait, Maya.
それじゃあルーティ、あなたの夢はどんな形かしら。
Maya laughed joyfully, and before any of us could stop her, she snapped her fingers and the world began to spin. Oh boy, where is this gonna take us? Is this just gonna be... We were nothing alike. Some were close, and while they resembled me, there were differences where it counted. Some had similar skin tones, but none were the same. Some had similar hair color, but mine wasn't pretty, and I couldn't brag about it. No one around me looked like me, so I was always alone. My appearance didn't resemble theirs, so I was always outside of their groups. They were the ones who told me it was alright, but they were referring to being alone, not to being me. It's not my fault. I've always been alone since the day I was born. Plus, not a single soul shares the same blood as me. I was always just a little too different. And so, I always took it to heart. I knew I would be alone forever. After school in the science club, Toru was using the computer to put together the data for the graduation project. So if we're going as if that was from her perspective, that's curious. Because she's talking about no one has the same blood as her. I mean, she has a sister. We already know that. So I'm wondering what that's supposed to be implying. Okay, we're gonna have to go through the dream and kind of see where things take us. Also, is there coffee in that beaker? It kind of looks like she made coffee in that. And I'm assuming she did because she's drinking it. Very curious. Anyways, guys, I think we'll end it off there. I think that's a pretty solid spot to stop. We just kind of got an introduction to Yayoi being in our dreams now, or Luchi, if you want to call her that. So this is going to be curious. I really want to know kind of where her story is going to go. Is it going to involve us? Because, I mean, you see us kind of in the back there working on the computer. So I wonder where this stream's going to take us. What is her unfulfilled desire going to be like? Maybe she just wants to be in a relationship. Maybe she wants someone that really understands her and that doesn't, look down on her for being different. Maybe just treats her the same as anybody else. I feel like with her blonde hair and blue eyes, maybe she just gets treated differently. But I'm gonna save more thoughts for the next episode and go ahead and call it here. But anyways, guys, appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next episode. Have a good one.